Some viewers may find this disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Get a little up top. Oh, we got the big red. The big red today.
Shout out to me not yawning tonight.
That's fine. Let's bring it out. Let's bring it out for the people, baby. One time for the one time.
With the spiritual shit. Lion, Zion. And free.
You want time and Yo, man. Round of applause to y'all. Round of applause to us. Y'all have all chosen to pull up with your brethren. Here at the Bread Fellows Podcast. We ain't gotta be the last supper to break bread, man. What kind of bread?
All type of bread, pita bread,
Right.
you know, loaves of bread,
Right.
you know, that bread that you make the what you call that?
What? The
You know
matzah
what
bread?
Yeah, matzah bread, right there, right
But
there.
chiefly the spiritual bread.
Oh, of course.
Chiefly that manna. So you get into the science early.
Well, what I found
hey.
out this week was actually magic mushrooms.
Oh,
Not
man.
magic mushrooms.
Oh, man.
Manna is not magic mushrooms, man. For all y'all that just love to jack shrooms, yo. So again, we are the Bread Fellows Podcast, man. Like we said, we ain't gotta be the last supper to break bread. We are out here chiefly to pod with a purpose. We are podding with a purpose that's to uplift the so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American households, and we do it with a 4-letter word. I know what that 4-letter word is. Starts with an L, ends with an E.
Love.
Love, man, come on, yo, come on, give this man a round of applause, man. Early, he's with us, man. He's with us, man.
But what is love?
He's with us, man.
That was a baseline for
This brother's with us, man. He's ready to ball tonight. So, I am Brother Zamar, a.k.a. Spiritual Shooter, blocka. Tell him who you are to my right, man, with the fire red hat.
I'm the Lion Zion.
That's right. Bring him in, baby.
Just know that.
Okay, tell him who you are to my left.
I am Free Smoke.
I don't know why that's funny to me, man.
Free smoke, free smoke. Ay, free smoke, free smoke. Ay, free smoke, free smoke.
I'm surprised we're not getting flagged for that.
You know, right?
That being.
Hey, I think it's because you sped it up. You sped it up.
I altered it a little bit. Well, we'll take that. Because I don't know if y'all remember that first episode that we had, we got flagged for that.
Oh, yeah.
We had the
remember.
music on and all that.
Yeah.
But see, now we episode 19, baby.
Big time, we official out.
Yeah. So we worked out the kinks, so to speak. So we here with y'all.
I kind of missed them X-Files sounds.
I got you, baby. Come on, right here. I just
Hey!
Just cuz, man. Call me SoundCloud, baby.
That's throwback right there.
Right,
Call
that's
me
like
SoundCloud,
that's
man.
first pod shorties right there.
That's first pop.
That was
Damn.
a pre-pod antic.
Yo, yeah, that's throwback right there. You don't know about that right
For
there.
those of y'all that know, y'all know, man.
I know where that came from.
So I don't even know what day of COVID quarantine this is, man. But
Episode COVID-19.
Right.
yeah, we giving it to y'all early. Anybody that saw episode 18, we got into what we like to call spice. Now we gonna give y'all what's more hot than spice.
Cayenne pepper chili.
We giving y'all cayenne pepper chili.
No, we giving you all straight heat.
Straight heat tonight, man. And if y'all ain't ready for it, we don't care. We just don't care because y'all have those that have been following us thus far. I imagine they jack us right because we are brothers that's bringing out the contentious content. The contentious content, like how we said, we leading with love, because we are noticing in our various goings and comings that it's just not no love out in the streets, man.
I know, that's a
Very
fact.
little.
It's cold out here in these streets.
That's a fact.
And our brothers and sisters can't afford to have any more of the love that we need to be taken away from us. We just walked over to Morris, right? And just on that corner, not with the sisters, but when we walked over there to get the lamb, and we just see how that intersection,
Yo, man.
you just already know.
It just,
Which I was calling it.
It's just like Valley of the Dry Bones.
The Valley
out
of the
there,
Dry
man.
Bones,
There's
yo.
There's no life out there. Everybody is just There's a lot of zombies right now, man.
Right, yeah. Give them the quick science. Give them the quick science on Valley of Dry Bones. Just a little bit, so they might understand. You know what is it we talking about?
All right, well, the Valley of Dry Bones is mentioned in the book of Ezekiel, and it's actually prophesied. Well, Ezekiel is being talked to through by the Most High, and he's told to prophesy to the dry bones. And during this vision, through this visitation that Ezekiel's having with the Most High, he sees the dry bones grow sinews and come together and rise up and become an exceeding great army.
That's right.
But that's all parabolic and metaphoric for the awakening that's happening amongst so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Those are the diaspora that are now awakened to the knowledge of who they truly are.
Come on, man. Come on. Come on, baby.
So you'll also hear that with people like, I know Malcolm X used to reference the Valley of Dry Bones. We've heard Elijah Muhammad.
Because they know the truth.
They refer to this. You even heard J Electronica make references to the Valley.
Right.
But a lot of people hear that saying and they don't know where it comes from or what it really means.
Exactly.
It comes from your Bible.
Your Bible.
The book that everybody despises because they can't handle the truth, man.
Right. Oh, come on. Let me bring them in, man.
You can't handle the truth.
Because you can't. So, I already know y'all brothers can handle the truth. That's why I'm here with y'all now. We have this Bread for the podcast. But I want to know how y'all been. We took a little week hiatus.
Word.
Not a week W-E-A-K, but week W-E-E-K. How have y'all been?
How have you been, brother?
Oh, you want to to me? Actually, I've been mother effing grand. Because my past week has been very nice. My past week has been very nice.
What did you do?
I just was able to find myself around great company. I was able
That's
to
always
find
cool.
I was able to find myself around great company that I perceived to really care about me. And
Why do you perceive that?
just because of the altruism, you know, that just being able to have somebody who was like, yo, I care about your needs or what it is that you may want or how you're feeling before myself in this moment. And whether that's a brother or whether that's a sister, that's something that we absolutely need. I would venture to say,
the selflessness.
The selflessness, exactly. So, and that I imagine that's what alms would be. You know, alms. So when you give in, but with not the intention of receiving.
That is
when you have that charitable nature about yourself. And I put a cherry on top, if I could, to be able to have that with someone that's actually not even someone that you might actually even like. You know, because a lot of times people want to build relationships with people before they say that they love them or that they like them or they might put their neck out there for them. But we are people that are desolate and destitute of love and truth, that we need to do a better job with extending that gesture and, again, those arms and that charitable nature just to the average Jake and Eve that you just see.
Off
the rip.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's really important.
So that was great for me, and then, you know, my last night was also amazing as well. I just been around just great energy, yo. And then, of course, you know, with y'all brothers, because y'all, you know, y'all my friends. So I'm in a great headspace, man. I've been working out more. Those of y'all that know, I've been trying to train for a little something. Lord willing, that happens when outside opens. And I could really be able to do that. So, you know, trying to stay together. What they say, spirit, body, and mind, yo. Well, I like to say spirit, mind, and body. Body last. So I said a whole mouthful now. What about y'all?
I've been doing well, man. You know, you get a little bogged down when you're working in here remotely. You know, they still getting 40-hour week workload. You know, you being inside, it's not exactly the same atmosphere. And I really realized how much of a difference it makes when you actually go to an office.
It's more motivated.
Yes, versus working remotely from the crib.
Because you're not gonna want to do nothing up there right there.
right. You want to be lamped up. Yeah, for sure. I know all about that.
Yeah, the motivation is definitely different. You do get a little restless when we've been in here several hours. You got to go outside, walk around. I walk around the building, or go walk up to the store. I just have to leave for a minute just to clear my cache. Sitting in front of a computer, we weren't designed to sit in front of computers 8 hours a day. Like
You need that sunlight.
that's unnatural. But other than that, it's been cool. I've been able to do a couple extra things concerning my business and my other endeavors and stuff. So that was nice. And other than that, it's been pretty smooth. Like this week's been pretty cool for me.
So you've been in the great. So 1 to 5, 5 being the best, 1 being not great. 1 to 5, where you say your mental space is right now.
My mental space?
Yeah, 1 to 5.
Okay, my mental space. When you say that, like, do you mean mental clarity, happiness? Like, what do you mean?
I want to say not mental clarity. I want to say happiness. Yeah, I say happiness.
Happiness?
Because everybody loves happiness and the pursuit thereof.
Well, I wouldn't really be able to give
Just
I wouldn't
a
be
solid
able,
number on that.
I wouldn't be able to give a solid number because we understand happiness is not a continual or perpetual state of being. I feel like happiness comes and it goes.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're saying
I
it's
mean,
pockets of time.
Yeah, it fluctuates throughout the day.
It's pockets.
Yeah,
Okay.
so
It's not
But
something
I
that you
was-
sustain.
not continually. I feel like joy is something that is perpetual. I don't feel like happiness is perpetual. I feel like happiness happens in instances. Joy is perpetual.
I see. Okay. Science.
Science.
So
So working it down.
talk to us about you, man. Tell us in brief. You don't got to go super deep
No,
into it, but you know what I
man.
mean.
Well,
Give us a little what's happening in the world of free smoke.
Man, I've just been fighting demons, man.
Damn, man. Yo, man, we gotta help this brother get the demons off, son. Brother been fighting demons. Nah, ain't no demons on this brother. Let me take that back. Ain't no demons on this brother.
Oh, man,
But brother's
you know.
fighting demons.
Yeah,
right?
man. You're always gonna get put in certain obstacles that you're gonna have to overcome. You know what I
Right.
mean, and always keep that positive light within you lit. But it's always a struggle. The best go through it. I mean, there's not a prophet alive who hasn't gone through tribulations and hard times. So and that brings you back to what you're saying about happiness. Really, I don't believe happiness is really a continual thing, like you said. It's gonna come and go. You can have a moment where you're staring at your children and it makes you happy. And then you get back on the road to what you have to do, and real life is always gonna throw shots at you. So yeah, man, like that's basically what I'm going through right now.
I feel like just to be on the other end of the table, so to speak. I feel like, and we've had this conversation before. I think you might have been present for it, about the whole happiness conversation, where I feel like with having the entity with which we surround ourselves in our daily lives with, like there's particular scriptures that talk about, happy is he that have hope in the power of Jacob, which is Jacob being another way to say Israel, Israel being another way to say who we are as a people, as a nation of people. I feel like in that instance, because I could walk with y'all, which I'm saying that it'd be intermittent, it'd be intervals where you have happiness, but I feel like in that instance, if I have this hope that I'm always having this hope, then I can have an aspect of happiness that remains perpetual.
Yeah, that's a different type of happiness right there, because just knowing who you are and the truth is automatically a bliss of happiness, because you're seeing the world for what it is, and you're not brainwashed. And seeing the world for what it is a gift.
Yeah.
Because some people are just blinded right now. So that is a gift to be happy about. Definitely. It's just with that gift, you're also going to have to fight a lot of demons.
Of course.
That's unfortunately that's just the way it is.
So do y'all feel like with all the demon fighting, I I know the brother, I want to say for 2 parts now, has been saying, yo,
man,
brother been fighting,
listen,
been fighting and battling, brothers in the trenches.
I'm battling.
I haven't really heard you actually maybe openly, overtly express, not in detail, but just, hey, I'm battling certain demons right now. Not that I'm asking you to bring that out. I'm just saying, when y'all are saying that, do you feel like it's more with brothers that are causing, that sort of inciting these demons to surround you, or it's been sisters? Like the energy you getting from sisters, has it been something that has put you in a state of being unsettled, or is it more brothers that you find?
Listen, I could be going through it, in the household, and I could just go to the store and, Jake is looking at you crazy. So it's both.
It's both.
It's really both.
It's
like, you know what I mean? Yeah, it's like you're just being tested over and over and over again to hold your composure. It's important to keep a positive view on things. You know what I mean?
That's a fact.
They just stay on that negative force. It's just like they can't get rid of it. Like it's like you can feel it. Like energy doesn't lie. I mean, I could step in the room and I could feel the energy. You know what I mean? I could feel good from coming somewhere, meet you brothers. I'm feeling good. You know what I mean? Because I was around positive energy, and then as soon as you step in to this area, it's just like a.
It's just something you feel is almost like a cloud.
It's moving. It's so
Yeah.
funny you say that, because I was actually having a conversation with someone earlier this week about that very thing. Like, it's very important. Like, when you come around people, that you come around people positive. Like, I don't want to be around negativity. Period.
Exactly.
Like, it's enough negativity in the world.
Exactly.
So the people that I want to surround myself are people that are going to be positive, that's going to uplift me, that's going to keep me, in the road. Not necessarily be a soothsayer. I ain't looking for a soothsayer. I'm talking about, a friend or, accomplice that's going to hold me accountable, but also bring about positivity. Like, people who come around you in a good mood.
Exactly.
It's certain people that will come around you, they always come around you and they got something negative going
Negative
on
to
every
say.
time. It's always negative.
Yeah.
It's never positive. It's just negativity.
Never.
Them type of people get cut off.
Yeah. You gotta go.
Like you said,
you gotta go.
You gotta go.
But like you said, it's reading energy. Like you really have to. I ain't gonna necessarily say know somebody's energy, but you can feel energy. You can feel energy. Like you can really discern it. Like you can discern energy. Like if somebody really, you can kind of sometimes you can feel when somebody damn near don't have your best interest at heart. Like with something. Like for example, if I have a project going on or something that I'm doing in my personal life that I'm something I'm working hard towards, it's a goal of mine.
And you don't care about it?
I'm saying I care about it.
No, but the person doesn't.
Well, listen, if you're a negative person, I'm not even going to share that with you.
Yeah,
or if you're a person that I know is not going to see my vision, I'm not going to share that with you. Or if you're somebody who I feel like is going to come with a bunch of doubt, I'm not going to share that with you. Like, I'm in a space in my life where, certain conversations and certain energies don't even deserve to be entertained.
That's a fact.
Honestly.
That's
like,
a fact.
Straight up.
You gotta go.
Do y'all believe in plans being jinxed?
Oh, well,
you know how people say, I got this big endeavor in the closet, I want to unveil it, XYZ, but I ain't gonna say nothing right now because I don't want to jinx it, I don't want to bring any sort of ill energy towards it.
I mean, to a certain extent, I don't jack it all the way because we all have to understand that everything is in the power of the Most High.
Right.
But I feel people will sabotage you. You know what I mean? They will
like
sabotage
37 situation.
You understand what I'm saying? And that's real important. Like, one thing I say is that, especially if you're with somebody and you have like a business type of plan and you don't get the support that you need from somebody that you're with, that speaks volume because it shows like, okay, you're not in the process of trying to build anything. Know what I mean? Because it's different from you wanting to build with your partner and you trying to build with friends. There's no way you're supposed to be putting all your energy into friends and not into the person that you're with. And that's the problem that I feel is wrong with relationships today. people rely more on their friends than their partner that they're with now.
I even heard that point.
That doesn't make any sense. You're supposed to plan out your life with the person that you're with, not with your friend. Because guess what? At the end of the day, that friend gets somebody. You're not going to see that friend. That friend is going to
There was
disappear.
still a whole lot less of that friend.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. There was actually a point that I heard someone make a couple weeks ago where they were basically saying that among men actually show their male friends the love that women are looking for them to show them.
So brothers show it to other brothers more than they show it to their counterpart.
Yeah.
Well, you gotta understand.
I can see that. I can walk with that.
I could walk with
I've heard it too, but this is what you gotta understand though. I feel like as men, when we're under a constant state of stress and negativity, we choose to run away from that and congregate with brothers who will bring that positive vibe. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Really, if you want to take it back to how it was, that was the woman. That was supposed to be who we run to basically receive that rest. But it's like with how everything is and how society is basically portraying women to be. Because I'm not even gonna lie to you, like most women that I see are women that are moving like the women on TV.
Which women on TV? Tell us.
You're loving hip hop,
right?
You're growing
We gotta
up
be
hip-hop.
specific about the type of woman.
You know what I mean? Your Kardashians.
Right.
Like it's like everybody wants to be superficial. They want to follow these type of people. You know what I mean? Like listen, there's a difference between being entertained and being entertained and thinking it's real life.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? I could listen to righteous music or I could listen to Pop Smoke, but that doesn't mean I'm going to freaking, pick up a gun and go shooting people. I'm not going to look at another brother and be like, yeah, nigga, you know what I mean? Yo, oh, you ain't with the woo, bang. You know what I mean? That's crazy. You know what I mean? So we have to differentiate how we're supposed to really be moving in the real world. And I feel like most of our women, and I'm saying most, and men too, because I'm not even gonna lie. There's some guys that really think like they're freaking super thug and shit. Part of the language, but it's like everybody is acting like they're on TV. Like this is a whole TV scene. But guess what? When that TV turns off, you're still living. Like, what do you have? What's next? Know what I mean?
Next? Yeah.
So you think, to the point, to the original question you said, basically, do we feel like those vibes exist?
Yeah, the jinx,
the jinx. Like people will say, like how you say, people will say, oh, I don't want to jinx it.
Right.
I'm gonna say, I'm jacking that, and I'm gonna tell you why I'm jacking that.
Brother's jacking that.
I'm jacking that because a lot of times, man, you'll have an idea or a thought or a plan, and then you'll go tell somebody, and the first thing they do is start hitting you with all kind of doubts and reasons why it won't work or why you should do it differently. And now that's affected the thought you originally had. Now they've superimposed their influence on you, and now it's completely swayed your idea, your vision, your thought. And a lot of times they could choke it out with just sheer doubt. Just coming at you with doubt. That's why certain people in my life love them to death, but I don't tell them everything I got going on.
Yeah, really? I never felt like that. You know what I'm saying? Because I could walk with what you're saying, but then what if in that person's conversation with you, they reveal something that perhaps you wasn't thinking of. And so they introduce a level of doubt. It's doubt, but it's something that you should actually sit back and evaluate and just consider it for one time. You know what I mean?
I mean, it all depends on the character of the person in the first place,
and like maybe the intention or something.
Yeah, because I mean, there are people that's going to give you constructive criticism on anything that you're working on. Constructive.
Yeah. Keyword.
Which means they're building.
So what's constructive? Because I feel like that's relative. Constructive criticism might be one way to you, but it might sound like hating to me.
It is relative.
You know what I'm saying?
No,
constructive criticism is most definitely relative.
It's helping.
However, it in some shape, form, or fashion is supposed to help build towards something. It's supposed to
constructive.
Right? It's supposed to construct something. So if all you're doing is giving me a bunch of negative critiques on why this wouldn't work and not providing me any positive
how to fix it,
or
nothing.
how to fix it,
It's
or
crazy.
any other ideas, or any variations of how I could do it. Any other remedies to the issues that you presented before me. Then really, what are you doing?
Sabotage.
Or if you just or if you're just casting your own self-doubt on me, then what are you doing? Because a lot of times that's what people will do. They'll cast their own self-doubt and insecurities on you to diminish what it is you're trying to do because they're too scared to do it.
Yeah, because people have those particular insecurities or what have you. So
Absolutely.
do you feel like that's only for endeavors?
No, it's real life too.
or-
Because guess what? You could meet somebody, you could be cool with somebody, and then once you start elevating, they'll throw a wrench in your whole operation to keep you at the same level as them. Because they don't want you to elevate. Once they start to see you leave, it boils their spirit, and they start causing strife. Know what I mean?
Yo,
And
that
even
type of person is just wicked. Yo.
Yeah, wicked as hell.
And even in people's ignorance, because a lot of times, some you might bring something to somebody, they may not be intentionally trying to be negative about it. But we as a people, we went through a lot. It's a lot of trauma that people deal with. So you got to consider all of that, when bringing certain things to people. But I don't think people always do it from a state of, oh, I'm trying to be negative, or I'm trying to take this idea, or I'm trying to turn you away from what it is you're trying to do. I think a lot of times things are genuine, but you really got to know who you come to advice for what. That's what I really chalk it up to.
Yeah, that's a fact. That's the wisdom.
That's the wisdom. You got to know who to go to about what. I'm not going to go to everybody about everything.
Yeah, right.
I'm going to go to those who I feel like have a certain level of wisdom in that particular area to offer.
In that particular area is critical.
I'm not going to go to a brother about carpentry, a brother with a carpentry question who's never done any carpentry.
Right.
You feel me?
Makes
I'm
sense.
not gonna do that. I'm gonna go to the expert about his expertise.
Right.
You feel me? And a lot of times I feel like we solicit advice from people that aren't qualified in that particular area.
Exactly.
And that goes into wisdom. You gotta know who you asking what. You may not know everything, but wisdom is knowing where to access or gain access to particular information. And that's also knowing who to ask what.
Yeah.
That's wisdom.
And you want to be able to understand what need that person might have.
Right. If I know that you're in financial straits, you're in debt and you need some money, I'm not gonna come telling you about, oh, I got this lump sum of money. What should I do with what organization should I donate them into?
Yeah, you're right. The organization of me.
Right, exactly. That's why the scriptures tell you, before you ask advice from somebody, know what need he have of you.
Right.
You feel me? That's wisdom. So you understand what kind of advice to get. You're not gonna go to a jealous woman asking her about the new girl you talking to. You're not gonna do that.
This doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense.
She's gonna throw a monkey wrench in that.
You gotta throw a monkey wrench in it, and people don't always mean to. That's one thing I realize. People don't always mean to throw a monkey wrench, but if you see a continual pattern when you bring certain things to certain people, then you're responsible for it. They're not responsible for it.
Just
because
stay
these are
away.
your ideas, your dreams, and your aspirations.
And why you gotta talk about it? Bro?
Why you gotta talk about it? And a lot of times, man, you don't even need to talk about it. Just manifest it. Do it. Because a lot of times you'll get so caught in the praise that you get for talking about it that you'll never get it done.
Exactly.
So what about now? So is the energy the same? The points that y'all brothers been giving, which I feel like are incredible points. Is the energy the same as it pertains to people that you meet? So if you meet someone and you're like, yo, I just met this sister, yo, I see an incredible future with her, yada yada, and then your man is like, yo, but what about this? Did you consider that? Did you do this? Did you do that?
No, you need
And then
your man.
not a brother. Now you might be like, yo, damn. You know what I'm saying? Because I asked that because I actually was in that very scenario a while ago, mad years ago, with one of my cousins, and he's my cousin, so I've seen a lot of sisters that he has been through. And
Been with, brother. Been with.
what I said? Been through?
Yeah.
No, it's more like been through. That brother has been through them sisters. Been with. And one time we was in the cab, and this taxi, this is back when you could hail a cab before Uber got crazy. That's how I told you the time.
It's been a while before black people could hail cabs.
Right, exactly. So this was two black people in the cab, and so he and myself, and he was telling me, yo, I just met this woman, and I think this is the one. And he was going on. Now I know, as the people say, I know his body. I know his body. I know his person. So I'm over there just like, yeah, okay, cool. You know, letting him get it off, saying that, yo, this is gonna be dope and whatnot. This is beautiful, yada yada. But in my mind, I'm saying, yo, this ain't it, because I know you, and I know that this is just a flare right now. But I know I'm gonna be looked at as the villain. Should I bring that particular sentiment to the foreground? And I'm just like, yo, listen, XYZ. And I told him that. I said, F it, I'm gonna go with what I feel, because I feel like I'm your cousin and you should hear me out. So I said it to him. I'm like, yo, I started hitting him with a line of things to consider. And at the end of it all, he let me get it off. At the end of it all, he just looked at me with a real sort of begrudged face, and just was like, yo, why you can't just be happy for me, bro? And I just was like, what you mean why I can't be, like, automatically because I'm giving you XYZ? Because I know you, now I'm not being happy for you. So now you getting into the bag of, oh, I'm just out here negative Nancy. Now I'm jinxing a relationship and all that. I mean, fast forward 2020, he not with her. So what I said was, in fact, what it was.
It was factual.
It was factual, but I asked that question about what about a relationship based upon instances and experiences I've had like that, where you know the person well enough to say, yo, listen, I've heard you talk like this before, and XYZ was the outcome. I feel like it's in my best interest as your brother, your friend, and whatnot to be able to lay those concerns on the table for you.
Yeah, and I think
and you don't have to jump down my throat, so to speak. Pause.
Yeah, I think you should. Like, I think that's completely within the parameters of constructive.
So that's constructive.
Yeah, it's constructive because ultimately you have a history of events that have occurred with a particular common denominator. So you're able to speak to that and let them know and reference these instances like where, okay, X, Y, and Z happened before. This is not something you just pulling out of the air.
Right.
You feel me? You have hard, concrete situations to reference to back the point that you're making. If they don't agree, that's one thing, but at least you have added validity to what it is you're saying, you know, by the proof. The proof is in the pudding, as they say. You know, that's not, I wouldn't even look at, that's not the same thing as just being negative. You know when somebody's just being negative.
They just casting certain aspersions or whatnot just in your direction.
Right, they don't support you with anything, but yet always have something to say about everything you're doing. Those are the people I'm talking about.
Just drop the whole jinx thing all to begin with, because a lot of times what our brothers and sisters do too, they be like, jinx, knock on wood. All that superstition stuff, man, throw that out the window, yo. Throw that out the window. We here at the Brotha Free Podcast, man, as your brothers, we gonna give it to y'all funky unadults and let y'all know, because really...
No bread and butter?
Nah, no bread and butter. No bread and butter. No bread and butter is gonna be, what's something that's more tart than butter? That you damn near might not even want to use as a spread.
Cream cheese?
Horseradish?
Cream cheese. Horseradish! Yeah! Horseradish, exactly. Horseradish. That's how we're gonna give it up to you. Because really I just looked up the etymology of the word jinx, and it talks about divination and witchcraft.
Yeah.
Like the word jinx actually was a bird. It was a reference to a bird that was used in the practice of witchcraft and divination. So I can imagine
the bird Toby used.
The bird Toby used. People could probably make a case. Yes, can make a case, but not in witchcraft and divination, all in righteousness. But and then it goes into like spells and charms. You know, so people, and you go into it all the time about the word usage, about how you have to be more cognizant of the words that you use, because words are spells. You know, you mentioned that, your brother literally mentioned that the last part, and yeah, and that's an absolute fact. So I just wanted to get y'all thoughts on that, because I feel like brothers and sisters can relate to things of that nature, because especially during quarantine time, when you're finding out more about certain relationships, about yourself and whatnot. You know, I was playing a game recently, it's a social game, and it's called Frankly. Y'all heard of that?
Frankly?
Yeah. You download it on the app. You download it on your phone. It's called Frankly. If ever, next time you're in a group session.
It's a word app?
No, it's a game, like something like a taboo kind of thing. Not with the premise of taboo, but you can do it in a group. So you download, it's called Frankly, and one of the scenarios that played out was yeah, with the monkey on it. Yeah,
okay.
yeah. Frankly, yo, I ain't gonna hold you. It was fun. I'm jacking Frankly.
Try it.
It's one of the categories had to do with texting someone. So like someone had to pick a person in your phone contacts, and then you have to text them XYZ. Now this could be somebody who you had an out with, or you really have a crush on them, or you haven't spoken to them in mad long, but here they want you to say something outrageous. So I got one, and it said I had to text this person on my phone, which ended up being a woman, and a woman that I haven't spoken to in mad long. And it was sometimes it's hard to be your friend, and I had to put like mad sad emojis. So then I sent that, and then her response mad quickly was, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, and that's not really what it is I want to portray. I'm just so bad at being a pen pal, yada yada." I wasn't even expecting her to answer because we haven't spoken in mad long. But it's just interesting to see how you begin to reevaluate certain relationships, and really all it might take is a little reach out, yo. So somebody you thinking about right at this very moment, text them right now, not later. Text them right now. Even while you're watching this pod, yo, you can just still listen to us, man. Text them, because those things are important. Mm-hmm. Relationships are important, man. And all y'all that be living this so-called life of YOLO, and you only gotta live for today, and tomorrow's never promised. So then, if you think about somebody, then text them. If you think about somebody, call them. And as I tell you that, I'm telling myself that, because I get into that bag as well.
We all do.
So what was it that we wanted to talk about? What was on the docket? Where y'all want to start? Because that had nothing to do with what was on our docket. That was just organic for like getting those certain things off our chest. Mm-hmm. But what was it? You want to give them the word of the day to start off?
Yeah,
you want to start off with a little with some of the flavor?
We can start with the word of the day.
All right, here at the Brotha Free Podcast, man, we have a beautiful segment. Maybe I got to do a graphic for this or something like that.
Bring it up.
We had a beautiful segment, and it's the word of the day. Mm-hmm. Because why? We don't only care about your soul, your salvation, and your spirit, but we care about your mind. We care about your mind, man, to help you be able to articulate in these circles a little more easily and more effectively. What did Jay-Z say? Show you how to move in a room full of vultures. So it's compunction. And I'm just gonna give you the verbatim. All these words just be fancy ways of saying things that you already know. Just giving you certain synonyms or whatnot. So this is a feeling of uneasiness or anxiety of the conscience caused by regret for doing wrong or causing pain. So we use certain things like that all the time. So instead of using regret or sorrow, use compunction. Use compunction and then walk away. And I bet you leave those people flabbergasted, man, at your particular vocabulary, yo. And brothers, I'll help you something. The ladies love it.
Why must you?
The ladies love it, brothers.
Why must you cause so much compunction?
Compunction, man. Compunction,
I
man.
start sounding archaic.
Right. Oh, I love the archaic language. I love that, man. That's
don't be mad because
that old English.
Don't be mad because I'm vivacious. With compunction, show.
Right, vivacious, man. So we got that. What was the main topic that we wanted to discuss? We are a podcast of 3 brothers. Mm-hmm. And a sister who happened to like one of the recent pods that we posted went on to say, hey, follow my friend's podcast because, there's intellectual brothers and there's a lot of insightful conversation from the male perspective. And I feel like that's a key point because there's a lot of sisters that watch this podcast and there's also brothers that watch this podcast, and some sisters might feel away, even some brothers might feel away that we might be a bit too hard, if you will, or callous a lot of times as it pertains to sisters specifically. But you have to understand, this is a podcast of men. Mm-hmm. So it's from the male perspective. And what was the point you made earlier about considering it is from the male perspective that sisters might
Oh
wanna-
yeah, considering that we are allowing you the opportunity to go into the mind of men. This is really a plug, honestly. You're able to really look at how men think. This is 3 men, and you're able to notice commonalities among things that we agree with.
Right.
It's a likely chance that the guy that you're with is probably thinking along some of the same lines we think of pertaining to some of the topics.
And it could potentially help your relationship.
Yeah, I venture to say it damn well will help your relationship. We feel like the Bible is the official how-to manual on life. It is the game. So if you don't have to run to the shelf, to the bookshelves or Barnes and Nobles and get those self-help books or anything like
Right.
that. You know, it's all encompassing into one book.
And most of the knowledge that you find of the books are from the Bible in the first place, just
Yeah.
reworded in different ways.
Right.
So
It'll be the same sign.
it'll be
Exactly.
the same thing.
People out here with that, again, that's so-called pseudo-profoundness. So I preface this particular topic just so that, you know, y'all can understand where it is that we coming from, hopefully, because, you know, really, we don't care anyways whether you like it, understand it, believe it, accept it or not.
Right. Understand, this is our podcast.
Yeah,
Honestly.
right.
We didn't tell y'all to tune in.
Yeah, you chose this thumbnail. We didn't come and tap into your broadcast. So a topic that we were discussing, and we discuss this topic amongst ourselves quite often because it's an actual applicable topic, is this idea of, does a woman's value, the woman already on the edge of their seat, I feel it, biting the nails, does a woman's value decrease? Does a woman's value decrease once you find out that she has a kid? Does a woman's value decrease once you find out she has a kid?
I want Shamar to answer this first.
Yeah, you answer that first.
Brother want me to start with the heat.
I'm gonna bring my science on it.
Does a woman find that does a woman's value decrease? And I want to say, to me, I can only speak for me. To me, I feel like it does. And I'm just gonna say it straight. I know a ton of sisters that have children. I know a ton of sisters that don't have children. Do I know any virgins? I don't know any virgins. But there is a particular value that is placed on sisters having no previous relations that has produced a child. We talking physically. I'm just gonna keep it all the way funky with you. I don't care how any of y'all feel about Brother Zamar on this particular topic. This is facts, and y'all, some of y'all brothers, they're gonna be sugarcoating and dancing, doing the chucking job because they don't want to bring it out.
Nah, we ain't doing that.
I'm gonna say it, yo. Your brother Zamar, I'm gonna say it for y'all, and you can blame it on me. The value decreases. Now, that's not to detract from that sister's mental capacity or spiritual capabilities or the bag she can get in so that she can ascend.
Yeah, her divine worth.
Yeah. There you go. Divine worth.
Yeah.
Divine worth?
Because then that
I
gets
don't
tricky.
know.
I know where you're
I don't know about
going.
divine worth. I don't know. That sounded mad good though.
I know where you're going with it though. I know where
The
you're going.
divine worth, yeah, you know, because you know the science.
Yeah.
But I know where you're going with that,
Yeah.
you know, and mentioning those things. But
All right, so I understand what you're going through. So it's like, yo, retail.
yes,
Retail, when you go buy some kicks.
exactly.
Now, I mean, you paying that flat out price that know what I mean? That you're paying that.
Right.
But if it's used, you know, you can't expect to charge the retail or above if the item was previously used already. Now, I mean, the next person isn't going to see the same value because I wasn't the first one with it. I didn't go on a first date with these sneakers. I didn't go to the club in these and you didn't see it in its crispiest time.
Right.
Know what I mean? And you know, I feel like that's on. It kind of plays a part on both sides, but for the woman, it's like, you know, some guys look for a woman to start a whole new family.
To start a whole new family
without the problem of another man being in the picture, because and this is the thing, because you have to understand when you do that, one, I ain't gonna hold you. Biblically speaking, it's a no. God was never with that. Like, if that man who fathered your children is still alive, you're not supposed to be with you know, that woman. You know what I mean? So it's like,
with certain stipulations.
Yeah, certain stipulations.
That we'll go into another podcast. Tune in. Give you the real science on that.
Yeah, we're gonna break it down next part.
Right.
But it might be next part. They might not be ready for all of this.
But
this brother want to hold on to it.
You wanna, it's layers to this.
It's layers.
Yeah, but you know, basically, it's like, back to the whole analogy of, you know, the sneaker thing. You know what I mean? It's like, you want to have these first experiences,
right? The first
with that possession.
Yeah.
You know, and it's not going to be the same. You know, so. I mean, I do feel like it does make sense.
I feel like that's something that shouldn't be hard to say. I feel like society, and I'm talking straight to y'all, because y'all are part of society as much as we are. I feel like society and all of its weight has made us afraid to speak on certain things that you are then going to harbor in your mind and then explode. And that explosion could cause you to do something that you wouldn't otherwise have done. Because to the brother's analogy, how many people watching a par right now, and y'all brothers here at the table, if y'all offered the opportunity to cop a new whip over a used whip, I would venture to say people are gonna cop the new whip. Unless you was raised in a particular way. Like, let's just say money was not an object. If you was able to get something, a car, a vehicle that was new, versus a vehicle that was used, you're gonna want it because there's less to have to deal with in terms of maintenance. We talking about less baggage.
So I'd say it almost be like if you have a brand new whip, you got a new whip, and then you got another new whip that has maybe one accident, and now the whip that had one accident was took to the body shop, it was repaired, put pristine, but it still got one accident on the record.
Oh, I don't want to say accident though. It sounds cool.
Well, a lot of times it is an accident.
Matter of fact, you know what? Let me zip my lips. Let me zip my lips, man. Because I actually was having that same conversation.
That's kind of factual.
I feel like Mom, I know my mom watches the podcast. Mom, you let me know. I feel like I was an accident, that I wasn't planned. I'm your first child. I feel like that wasn't planned, you know? Not taking anything away from y'all, because, you know, you're still an excellent mom. Same with my pops, you know, he's doing what he can. But I feel like I was that. Yo, what about y'all? Y'all feel like y'all was planned?
I was definitely planning. Like, my parents was married 2 years.
Brother was definitely planned. They told you that?
Yeah, my parents was married 2 years before I was born.
So were mine.
I
said, bro. Okay, bro. All right. So
I don't feel like you. I feel like after you married, I mean, if you have kids, you just have kids. Like, that's how I feel. I feel like the plan is like, yo, we're having sex right now to have a child. But that doesn't work, Ak.
Why not?
Because,
if your sperm is hidden.
Yeah, but it's so many other factors. Like, is she ovulating?
There's other factors, but right. I feel like
is your sperm count up? What are you eating? Are you wearing your drawers too tight? It's a lot of things that play into that.
No, absolutely, but the intention though, still the mentality of the individual is like to say, I'm laying with my wife, and then I'm laying with my husband for the intention of, you know, copulation and like for procreation purposes. I feel like a lot of us, we just have, you know, whether our parents are together for X amount of years, whether it's 20 years plus, those just happen to be excellent parents in that they have managed to endure the battles in the trenches, whether worldly things or together for the sake of the child, so they have grown together to be incredible parents. But I would venture to say more people than not. Maybe y'all in the comments, let us know if y'all. That's probably kind of racy. Let us know if y'all feel like y'all was accidents or whatnot. If you feel like your birth was planned. These are legitimate things I feel like people can discuss, and y'all think about this, but don't kill the messenger kind of thing. If we bringing it out, we trying to utilize our platform responsibly.
People aren't mature enough to talk about the real things.
Yeah.
Like, they could talk about anything in the world, but when it comes to real topics that you're actually living, you can't talk about it. Why? Why is there such a pressure on it? Like
it's an offense, man.
Yeah.
People get really offended very quickly because when you say, like, for example, the conversation we're having about a woman's value, it's almost offensive to even associate a price point with a woman. And I think that's where the offense comes in, because people look at things through this worldly spectrum. How we look at things here being in the world, we have kind of a more biblical, ancient scope on how things operate. So when we say a value, we literally we're not saying we out here selling our sisters. Although when you look in biblical times, these are things that happen.
That's too much science. It's too much science.
We not here to get into that, but I think it just comes with people not really want to deal with the fact that you can do certain things in life, and you have to live with the results of your decisions. You got to live with the mess you made, as they say. You feel me? And that goes for brothers or sisters. Now, to answer the question, I had to think about it, because on one hand, I would say, nah, a sister's value is not diminished by her having a kid, and I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna preface it.
So you saying nah?
I'm gonna say nah. Nah, I'm not saying nah.
Oh, you're not saying
this was my struggle mentally. I would say nah, because I think, okay, her value. Okay, what is a woman? What was her purpose? Her job? She was sent here to do. She was sent here to be a help meet. She can be a good help. Can a woman still be a good help after she's had a child? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So on one hand, yes, but then when you look at the value, is it diminished, or does it go down, or has it decreased any? And then I had to think about myself, as a brother, if I go on a sister's page, she can have single all day, but the moment I see that kid in the background,
that kid comes first to her, so you're not gonna get that full attention.
And I wasn't even speaking to that
too. Yeah, you wasn't even making that point. But that's a great point, though.
Yeah.
Finish your point and then
that's an excellent point, though. That's an excellent point.
That's an excellent point.
Because I agree with that. But the point I was making is, like, once I see that kid in the background, it's like, dang. It's like, it is like a bummer in an instance. You know? You see a sister, a marriageable, she got single, good looking, seems to have a couple of things going on. You see the content on her page is decent. She ain't posting nothing crazy. Then you scroll and you see kid. You see her prints. And I ain't gonna hold you. It do me like, cause automatic. It's not even so much about the kid. You thinking about that dude. It's another dude that I'm gonna have to deal with forever. I don't want to have to deal with him. I don't want to come in a situation where I'm now signed up for the rest of my life to deal with this man.
Right.
That may be my brother. You know what I'm saying? That may be my brother. But at the end of the day, I don't want to be having to deal with this brother over a woman. You feel me?
Right. And we see that so many times in our community where it just becomes very, very messy.
Hey, we done seen a boxing fight.
Yeah, he had a lot of pent up frustration.
Yeah, man. So it's like, it's basically strife. It's always going to be that strife with the new guy in the picture. Right. You know what I mean? Especially, it's a touchy situation because that's the father of the children. You know what I mean? So, they're going to be real touchy about who's around their kids.
Exactly.
So it's a whole bunch of mix up. Man.
Then the dynamic comes in with, the advice and authority that you exercise towards the son when you're around versus that of his father.
Yeah.
Just get too convoluted.
Yeah, convoluted, man. We trying to be in the business of making things less cumbersome, less messy, less convoluted, as the brother said.
Right.
You know, because that's not going to add to your peace. That's going to take away from your peace. And you, as a so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American man and woman, you should want to do nothing more but to maintain your peace. Maintain your peace. And the only way you can be able to do that is to position yourself and those around you for the win. And that's only going to happen when y'all all like-minded. So look how beautiful and seamless the scriptures are by saying, yo, listen, brother, you can't deal with this sister in terms of a husband and wife unless the husband dies. So he's out the picture. So it makes sense. Now I can come in, I can instill certain values in this seed, even though that seed is not biologically mine. You know what I'm saying? Otherwise, like how the points that y'all brothers making is profound points, because he's always gonna be around, unless he's a deadbeat. Or maybe he's locked up, but even still, you know, there's still a remnant of like, maybe I shouldn't, you know, because this child has an influence. I mean, the child is influenced by this particular man's energy.
Or in the event that he actually gave that woman a bill of divorcement. You know, where he's basically, that's deep. That's deep.
Well, I mean, colloquially, you know, you could say maybe a divorce.
Right.
You know, divorce, like American 2020 divorce. But before we move on, I want to, you know, the point that you made, that I say it was an excellent point about the sister not necessarily placing you where you should be in that relationship.
Because the child is there already. So now, I mean, you know,
he's gonna come before you.
A duty is supposed to be a wife's duty is to her husband, as Scripture says. But if she has a child from a previous marriage, that child is going to come first.
In a lot of instances.
A lot of instances.
It's automatic. You know what I mean? You know, so it's gonna be a different type of scenario when a child is introduced into the equation from a previous marriage.
And anybody that might be watching this right now that is in those situations or knows somebody in that situation, really take heed to what's being said here, because the only way that we're going to be able to move forward as a people is to remove the emotions, remove the feelings, and just be able to really evaluate our scenarios and situations objectively.
You know what it is too, is that
subjectively.
Because we're in this 2020 time where people feel like certain things are normal, doesn't mean that this is the way things were supposed to be. And I feel like once you brainwash generations to accepting something, they basically, you know, downgrade themselves to believe, you know, that this is how it's supposed to be. Like, our ancestors were known to be, you know, royalty, and now we're comfortable being thugs and bitches and niggas.
Right.
It's serious stuff.
Right.
You know what I mean? If we had a time machine and brought our ancestor from back in time and bring back our forefathers, they'll look at us and be like, how low can we be?
Yeah.
Like, we might as well have been spewed in a napkin. Because we're not progressing at all. We're at our all-time low in our race, and people think that we're doing good. We are not. We're taking L's out here as a people.
Super
man.
L's, man.
I don't think people understand that, man. Like, seriously.
You gotta be delusional.
We're the only nation that has no leader. You know what I mean? We don't have an army. We don't have our own Congress or government. We have another nation that we depend on. And when a nation depends on another nation, that's a nation that is meant to be slaughtered, because you can't save yourself.
You just tributaries.
Yeah. You understand what I'm saying? And I don't think people understand that. We're still prisoners of war in this captivity, man. And I always say that, man. You know, and I think people are proud of that. Like, people, you know what I mean? That's why oppression maketh a wise man mad, man. Like,
bring it out.
Like, seriously, I know how my ancestors lived, and I know at what degree and stature I'm supposed to be at. So realizing that my eyes are open, and I'm like, yo, I'm in the matrix. This is whack. All right, and we need to get back to how we used to be, man.
That's a fact.
That's a fact, and that's a fact. So let's bring us into
Facts or cap.
That's right. That's
All
right.
All right. So facts or cap.
Say it with your chest.
Facts or cap is our segment where I make a declarative statement. If you vote the statement that I make to be truth or to have validity, your vote will be for facts. If you think the statement that I'm making has no validity or is not true, then your vote will be for cap. So today's facts or cap is actually kind of in the spirit of a saying that I commonly hear, and then I actually saw a rebut to that saying on Facebook. And it's the saying that, well, you've heard men do what they want, boys do what they can. Then you've heard the other saying, women are physical with who they want, and men are physical with who they can. You know, the words were a little bit
Right.
a little bit more
crazy.
yeah.
More vulgar.
Right.
But then I actually saw another post that says men marry who they want, women marry who they can. And that actually
If they can. And that was and on the polls.
Yeah,
Mind you.
if they can.
if they can. So that I was
Some of y'all
like-
ain't getting married.
Yeah, we told him about that.
Right.
But man, like thinking about that, I was like, wow, that's a good point though.
Yeah.
That's really. I'm gonna say facts. I'm going facts for that.
Hey, listen, I'm saying facts too. And
Two quick facts.
yo, on the polls, it spoke for itself because even women were agreeing with that because the polls said 81% yes and 19% no. So now I mean it's a fact because you have to understand, women are always going to have men chasing them to get
Physicality.
to get physicalities out of it, but when a man really wants a woman, he's going to marry that woman because he really wants it. Now, I mean, that's a difference. Like, if a man who just wants to sleep with you, he's going to want to sleep with you, and that's that. Like, you're not going to even get an idea of him trying to be with you. And that's the thing sisters don't understand. So, and most of the time, sisters wait until, they've been with a couple of dudes and dated, and they went through a couple of bad boys, and then they settle for the nerd who treats them right, but they're not completely happy, which sometimes leads to adultery. So
Yeah.
and it goes down. I've seen it. This is something that it happens in everyday life. You know what I mean?
That's a fact.
But a man is going to go out his way to get that woman that he really wants to marry. A woman is settled for security.
A woman will settle for security. Y'all brothers saying some spicy things on episode 19.
No, that's a fact.
No, that's a fact.
Y'all brothers saying some spicy things.
That's a fact.
Hey, it could be a fact, but
That's a
that don't
fact.
take away from sisters
A
not
woman
jacking
will
it.
love you, but be like, yo, we can't be together, and marry a brother that's gonna take care of it.
Yo, listen.
That's facts.
And I don't think it's anything wrong with that. Like what the brother said, women marry for security, which is a true thing because that's why the scriptures tell you a woman will accept any man.
Yeah. Yeah.
But there's one daughter that's better than another. I think roughly paraphrasing
Yeah.
the scripture. And that's basically to say that, men, it's not so much about the aesthetic as it is when we're looking for a woman. When
Wait, hold on.
No, I'm saying with women, when they pick a man, it's not as much about the aesthetic.
Oh, when women.
Yeah.
Oh, my fault. I thought you said men. I thought you said when men pick
Oh
women.
no.
That's why I'm like, oh no, I think it is that. I'm in that category. I ain't gonna hold you. So when women, I agree with that.
Yeah. So when women, I don't think it's as much about the aesthetic because women, they'll deal with a brother being a little bit ugly, a little rough around the edges.
Yo, that's
Because
true.
you'll look at it.
Yeah.
Brothers that was
I've
nerdy,
seen it.
that was nerdy in high school, didn't get any play, damn near didn't know how to dress, was lame. He ended up going to school, going to college, pledging one of these Greek fraternities, and he ended up graduating school summa cum laude. Now he got a good job. Now he's cool. Now he's able to bag sisters that wouldn't even looked his way 10 years prior. But because that there is a shift, because ultimately, women was never supposed to be into men for looks. Like, we weren't put here to be cute. That was them. That's why the scripture says that a woman is the glory of man.
Mm-hmm.
The beauty lies upon her.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? The beauty lies upon her. It's not supposed to lie upon us. Men are not supposed to, weren't put here to look cute. We're supposed to be manly.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
That's why I'm glad this whole quarantine thing happened where brothers got to grow their beards, look a little rough, scraggly, unkept. You got to get used to being a man.
Mm-hmm.
You can't be so manicured all the time.
Yeah.
You feel me? Sometimes you got to deal with the elements of being a man.
Save it for the gal then.
Make the points, baby.
Just know that.
So, I'm saying,
Facts.
You gonna say facts? You already on the bad side.
wait, can you say it one more time? Can you say it one more time?
All right, facts are capped.
Mm-hmm.
Men marry who they want. Women marry who they can.
Men marry who they want.
Facts are capped.
Yeah, I'll say facts.
That's
I'll say
facts.
I'll say facts.
That's
I was trying to
facts.
see how maybe I could say cap.
No,
But
because
when it comes to having sex, a woman can have sex with anybody.
oh, they can have sex with anybody.
Anybody.
But to get a
But
brother
marriage?
but you see that because what I'm seeing now, coming into these 30s, you feel me? Them biological time clocks are starting to tick a little bit. Where sisters are now cognizant, okay, I can't be how I was when I was 22, 23, just turning down every brother, nigga, get out my face. You feel me?
They searching that. It's like,
Now you doubling back to some of those messages you left on red from 2017. You feel me? That biological time clock is ticking. And that really does beat in the minds of our sisters. Once they hit, between 26 and 35, and if they want children, they thinking about it then. If they don't have any children, like they're thinking about it like, yo, I'm ready to have a kid. Like, why haven't I settled down? Why I'm not married? These are things that people are thinking about. I wouldn't say not too much with brothers, because we feel like we get married anyway. Brothers see it. I'm a wild until I'm 40 and then get married. You feel me? That's our mentality. But sisters, by and large, those that want to get married usually want to get married, at least between their early to late 20s.
So can I bring this out though? But do you know why?
America.
See, you gotta understand.
America. Yeah.
Well, that too. But you gotta understand, a man can have a seed up to 70. Our sperm will still be hitting. A woman's eggs don't got that long.
Yeah.
There's a little time clock on that. Like, once it stop working and menopause hits, it's over, sis.
Yeah, that's a fact.
It's over, sis.
It's over. Know what I mean? So, you can't go down a path if you want to, find somebody. You can't be acting like, you got all the time in the world. You know what I mean?
No, and I just think we got to get back in the business of, like what we said, with the arranged marriages. And honestly, I think marriage should happen a lot earlier than it's happening. And a lot of people will get mad about that. People, they don't like the idea of early marriages. But I love the idea.
How early though?
I feel like you old enough to get married as soon as you old enough to have sex. That's how I look at it.
You old enough to get married as soon as you're old enough to have sex. But all right, explain to the people though what that means when you're old enough to have sex, because people could have sex at 12, 13 or something.
Well, according to the scriptures, a woman starts having sex when she's past the flower of her age. And what that means is she's budded. Like, how a rose, it blossoms. The scriptures liken a woman unto a flower that blossoms as well when she buds forth. Basically, figuratively saying when she gets sexual reproductive organs. Well, when they develop, like when her breasts develop, her hips develop.
When she can now physically carry a child within her, because.
Well, that's not necessarily, because a woman can physically carry a child when she gets her period.
Who said that?
Well, in a lot of cases,
As soon as she gets her period,
a lot of women can carry a child when they get their period.
But I feel like
it might not be the best at that age as soon as she gets her period. That's why I don't even use the period as a point of reference.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
As far as I say when she is physically budded forth and mentally budded forth to where she's now a young woman. You know, when the little girl, when you look at her, you know, a little girl you may have seen around the neighborhood, and several summers have passed, and you like, dang, she ain't a little girl no more.
She filled out.
She
came into herself.
Exactly. That's what it's talking about when she places the flower of her age. You think about a rose when it buds forth and it's in its most beautiful state.
It blooms.
When it blooms, when you at your absolute best. That's what it's talking about. That's when a woman's budded. And usually, in today's time, that happens for a woman between 16 and 21.
So you're saying that is the marriageable age, so to speak, during that time?
That is a marriageable
You
woman.
would prefer anyway, in your household, you would say?
I would prefer because then what we see happening is a lot of times is you try to keep, you know, marriage. No, you gotta wait till you get older, and what'll happen is,
And then they'll mess with somebody before they get married.
they end up messing with
That
multiple
curiosity,
men. Then you end up getting pregnant before you even out of high school. You know, it's people, the same people that are frown upon. A lot of people that are frown upon a marriage and teenage, they don't frown upon teenage pregnancy.
Hold on.
That makes no sense. That's fact.
Hold on.
You don't frown upon teenage pregnancy, but you'll frown upon me telling this young woman
To get married.
all right, you two, okay, since y'all made this child, this is how it's gonna go. Not scratch that. Since y'all have lined together, this is how it's gonna go. I think it adds more gravity to the act of sex. You feel me? And it gives them something to think about. It's not something you're gonna do as impetuously if you understand, dang, if I lay down with this sister, I'm stuck with her. You feel me? Brothers gonna think about it, and sisters gonna think about it a lot more than they do. Because they understand the ramifications of those deeds. You feel me? Oh, and I'm gonna be married. So you're gonna think a lot longer and a lot harder. And you're gonna use a little bit more wisdom if you look at it through that scope. But if you make allowances for teenage pregnancy, premarital sex,
Then it's anything goes.
then it's anything goes, and we're gonna continue to see the cyclical nature of abortions, teenage pregnancies, single parent homes, and all the other things that are destroying the black community as it pertains to family. So we got to start looking at really what it is, because women having children at 16, between 15 and 18 every day. But you don't really see women at that age range getting married.
But but the thing is, they could do that. But they can't buy alcohol.
You can't.
I love when he does that.
Yeah, it's a lot of stuff that doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. You're old enough to have sex and make a child, but you're not old enough to buy alcohol. That makes sense.
Leave it to America to jack everything up, yo. But we have to dispel the notion, because the brother had mentioned words of premarital, and we had to dispel the notion as a people of what that even is. Like that's when you come into, I mean, we know why you was mentioning it. You know, this is what we know here in America 2020. But a lot of times, brothers and sisters, when they start hearing things being brought out from the scriptures, the Holy Bible that is, they quickly make that synonymous with
the doctrine of Christianity.
The doctrine of Christianity.
No, we are not Christians.
Right.
No,
not in the sense of how you might see it today. You know?
Say no to the church, man.
Right. No church on Sundays.
No church on Sundays.
Or ever, really.
Or ever. Do your Sabbath, man. Keep the Sabbath holy.
Right.
You know?
So this notion of premarital sex doesn't even really exist. You know, where you're not married, but now you're laying with each other. You know, just a little tidbit, and we're going to touch on it at a later part. Once you lay down with that sister or that brother,
that's yours, bro.
That union now becomes exactly that. The union of that flesh now makes y'all eternally bond or bounded together.
Well.
That's why I said we'll leave it for another part, because there is a well and a but and an and the if then.
Yeah, it's layers to that. Like, that's why I don't like touching it, because you really gotta get science.
But you got to get the people to, you know what I'm saying, the essence, man, the incentive to want more on the marriage doctrine. Because listen, when we bring out this understanding,
oh my gosh,
when we bring out this understanding, I want to reach the people. Heads will roll, as they say. Heads will roll, and it's really going to be, I want to say, one of the most key things to uplift the so-called Black, Hispanic, Native American household. Because
I'm
it starts, it begins and ends with us. We know that, but in the home. In the home. Oh, what was the point we were saying? Oh, you want to... Let's leave that for we gotta do. But did you want any other points?
No.
On the facts of cap?
All right, so we got to
Yes,
do
sir.
better.
Gotta do better. So much better. Gotta do better, better.
Hey.
Okay, so
Hey.
on this week's We Got to Do Better.
Bring it up.
Now, We Gotta Do Better is a segment where we bring out certain problems that we are facing as a nation in this world. And I will bring out a solution via scriptures that can provide us with a method in helping with that problem.
Right.
So,
Talk to them.
earlier, we were on our way to, get something to eat, of course. And I noticed, two young sisters, chilling, sitting down on the sidewalk. One is just leaning on her friend, and it's cold outside. I'm like, what the hell is going on? So automatically, I have daughters, so it's real touchy to me. Especially we have to look out for our people. That's one. There's a lot of trafficking going out here. Young black sisters going missing. So, I can't just walk past that. Me and the brothers can't walk past that and not do anything. We have to practice what we preach. And that is love for our people.
Word.
So I start talking to the sister, and she says that her friend is on lean. She's laid out. She can't walk.
How old are these sisters?
Sister's like 16, 15.
You doing lean? Come on,
16,
man.
15, man. Can't make this up, man.
And this was in the dark. This wasn't daylight.
This is dark. It's nighttime. It's cold out.
South Bronx on a dead street.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
They just out there,
Yeah.
Just on the side of the street.
just chilling.
It's chilling, man. And that's crazy. And then,
Sister slump.
while we stopped, there was another guy there.
Yeah.
And it was one of them dudes that be off K2. He was trying to help him, gave him his phone and stuff, but I didn't like the look of it.
Yeah.
I was just like, it looks suspicious. Like
Suspicious.
this, you trying to help? I don't know, man. I'm gonna help my sisters out, like.
Yeah.
So me and the brothers would stop, talk to them. Trying to find out, is there somebody that can, pick them up, or is there a Lyft or Uber that we could give them so they can get to their destination safely? And the sister started going into, she got into it with her mother. Her mother kicked her out.
Excuse me. I apologize, brother. I don't mean to break you off, but I want to touch on that. That kicking out, we as black people, we got to stop kicking your kids out of the house. You can't do that. Like,
You can't kick them out the house.
no, you can now. For disrespect, that's one thing. When you become an unruly child, when you can no longer accept the authority of your parents and honor them like the scriptures tell you, then you need to be put out.
Right. You need to
And
get
have-
stoned. Not now, but that's what was happening.
Yeah, but you need to be put out and have your own place. But I mean the notion that when you turn 18, you're an adult and now it's time for you to get out.
But 15, 16-year-old? Come on, man. And
Yeah.
that's when they come back home pregnant, or you'll never see your child again. And then you're gonna be crying, oh, where's my baby? Come on.
Especially because you wasn't giving them the signs the whole time.
Yeah, man, but this whole notion that you put your kids out when they turn 18 because they're grown, and no, they're not. Man.
Yeah.
No, they're not. No, they're not. Because when you look at other cultures, kids live with their parents up until well into their 30s.
Yeah.
And most cultures, you live with your parents until you get married.
Right.
Yo, and most cultures help establish that child's future because they have time to save and actually build. Black people,
Now they just kick you out there into
Oh,
the street,
man.
to the world halftime,
Right.
until you fly.
you'll be
Right,
good.
right.
You'll be
Figure it
good.
out. Yeah.
That's how you fly with a broken wing.
Yeah. And really, that's because
Right.
we don't know our own culture, so we jack American culture, and
Right.
American culture is frowned upon, damn near embarrassing or shameful to have to you still be of a particular age and in your parents' house.
Right. It's looked down and frowned upon, but the reality of it is you didn't leave your parents' house until you was ready to get married. That was it.
Mm-hmm.
And then we see plenty of scriptures where men were well into their 30s, sometimes even their 40s, where they still live with their parents. Like that was just a common theme. But we live in a different time.
Yeah, it's shamed.
Yeah.
You know, everything is always shamed here. I mean, that's just to create a form of stress and problems in the society. You know what I mean? Just to make you feel like you always have to be,
on a hamster wheel.
Yeah, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's a hamster wheel game.
That's that capitalist society.
Yeah.
There you go, capitalism. There you go. That's what you're giving us.
So, yeah, the sister was saying, she got into it with her mother. She was getting crazy. Told her to get out, and she's been on the streets by herself, alone for a while now.
That's what she said?
Yeah, for a while now, and
Yeah,
she
yeah,
was
wow.
staying with
She was
she was
outside.
staying with her
She
brother
was-
because her sister's from Brooklyn. She's where me and Zion are
Yeah.
from. So
Wow.
yeah, and she's all the way out here. So it's crazy, man. It's like she has no father. You know what I mean? So
Oh, y'all was getting the real story.
Yeah, we was
she
really
going in.
probing
Yeah, y'all was getting the real story.
Yeah, because I was like, yo, why, why are you out here? And I mean,
Because she wasn't trying to say nothing at first. Like she was trying.
Yeah.
No, listen, sister. We're in your face, and you gotta
Yeah.
sometimes no.
Y'all was in her face.
Yeah. You're gonna tell us what's going on with it. We're not gonna
Yeah.
just walk past and just let you be out here.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You want to be out here.
That's crazy,
No,
man. That's
no.
crazy.
We're
That's
gonna
crazy.
find out what's going on with you, and that's that.
Yeah.
Whether you like it or not.
But I told her
Right,
straight.
it's a real big brother
I was
joint, like,
yo,
yo, whether you like it or
I
not.
told her straight, like, yo, you little sis, man. Like, come on, like, we can't leave you out here. Like, find out where you're going, make your phone calls. Like, listen, we're gonna help you out.
Right.
You're definitely. I'm not gonna leave you with this K2 smoking.
Right, she thought she
Dude
was
out
gonna
here.
just show someone under the road. I don't need no help. I'm good. No,
Yeah, that's what I thought. I
No,
thought
shit.
that as y'all continued to probe and to try to find out what the science was, I thought she was gonna come out nasty with y'all and just be like, "Yo, I don't need y'all help. Get out of here." I thought she was gonna be in that vein.
No, but we had to
But she seemed
break
to
it
be-
down to
yeah.
her. Know what I mean? We had to break it down to her because it's like, yo, listen, we've been where you've been. Know what I'm saying? Like you're 16, you're experimenting
That's
with
a
drugs and all this. Know what I mean? Because that's what society perpetuates into the eyes of the children, man. Know what I mean? We all went through that, so we have that level of understanding. Know what I mean? It's not like where your parents age. Like,
Yeah,
yo,
right.
we still in the loop, so
Yeah,
we know
yeah.
what's going on. Know what I
Right.
mean? So it's easier to talk to us.
Yeah, that's true.
Um,
And
yeah,
then
man.
that dude was looking shady. 'Cause remember
Yeah.
we saw him after?
Yeah,
Yo,
and
because
then
we
you
went
seen him
upstairs, we
after.
seen him again.
Oh,
we
man.
had ran into the dude afterwards. Yo, because we was talking with Brother Courtney. He scurries across the street,
He's
remember?
stumbling across
Like
the
this
street
across
like
the
this.
street, running.
Like I was like this across the street.
Yeah, but like dragging his feet though too,
Yeah,
barely
dragging.
making it up.
Yeah, you saw you had the big split for the K2 out there.
Yeah, he stepped over to the side to smoke it,
And then the third time we seen
and
him,
then we seen him again.
he didn't even notice it was us. He's like this, F you to the wind, like
Yeah.
F you. I'm like, okay, thank God we stopped because there's no way we're gonna trust these sisters' lives in the hand of this brother right here.
Yeah, who knows?
It was not happening. Exactly, man. And that's why I told her sister, I'm like, yo, you're not supposed to be out here at this time. It's dangerous out here. There's a lot of trafficking going on. Like, listen, we're gonna help you get. But, long story short, we got her in a lift, and you know what I mean. Hopefully, she got to her destination safe.
Word, hopefully.
But it was real, man. It was real. We definitely had to help with that situation. Now, what I wanted to get into is that, listen, man, this is why, having, order in the household is important, man.
Right.
And, sometimes women have to lay off going off of their emotions all the time. Know what I mean, because I know women are emotional, but when they get emotional, it's like they forget to think logical and they just do anything. Now, your child could have been raped and killed by doing this. You understand what I'm saying? Look, you put
That's
her in
a
a
little
crazy,
girl.
you put her in a crazy position, and that's because you're in your feelings. And that's the problem. Most women get in their feelings and they can't think logical about things. You know what I mean? Now, if there was a father in the household, I doubt that it would be
it probably
yeah.
it'd be less likely that it would get to
Exactly,
that.
at least
because
there'll be a
the father
balance.
would have that, you know, that
That
order
order
in there.
established in there. Yeah.
So I wanted to bring out some scriptures, you know what I mean, to you know, edify with that, to give people clarity on why I'm saying what I'm saying. So I'm gonna bring out Proverbs 22 and 6.
Oh no, you can break it down.
Train up a child in the way he or she should go, and when he or she is old, they will not depart from it. So basically, you want to break it down?
Oh, I can.
All right.
I'll show the people my Corona hair. Corona hair. Y'all see
Corona
me?
heads out here, man.
Start that from the top.
Okay, so this is Proverbs 22, verse 6. Train up a child in the way he should go.
And notice that it says train, and so often we get into the business of saying, yo, raise our children. But the scriptures are specifically and intentionally saying train, because much like how you would train an animal to obey your commands, I would imagine, I don't have any children, you can speak to this, I imagine that as soon as you say jump, you want your child to say how high. And that's the end of it. It's not let's talk about it some more, let's negotiate.
Exactly.
No, it's train up your child in the way that they should go.
Exactly.
Right? Don't feel bad about that, parent. You're the parent.
Exactly.
You're the parent.
You're not their damn friend.
Yeah, like how we went into the part before. You know what I'm saying? You're not their friend. You are there to be an authority figure. So train up that child, yo. Give them understanding of what discipline is from the jump.
And when he or she is old, he or she will not depart from it.
And that's what we should be in the business of. All y'all brothers and sisters who are parents, y'all setting yourself up for failure if y'all don't get into the knowledge of self early on. Teaching them early why lying is bad. Teaching them early what love really means. Teaching them early to go to bed when you say go to bed. Just putting that instilling in them that discipline so that when you're older and when they get older, they're not just a rebellious Jake or Eve out
They
here in
know
the
how to
street.
move automatically.
Making you feel embarrassed and ashamed.
And with that, not only do you tell them right from wrong, yes, no, you got to give them the wisdom behind what you're saying. You can't just tell a child, don't do this, and not tell them why not to do it.
Right.
You're not giving them, you need to give them the wisdom. You got to get out of that mentality because I said so. No, you need to give them some understanding, because then I don't have the wisdom to understand why it is you said what you said. All I know is you told me not to do it, and to avoid consequences from you, I'm not going to do it.
But why? But why not to do it? Because of how the world will harm you. Basically, you understand? You got to
break it down behind why I shouldn't do it. What is the negative effect of me doing it? Help me understand that, and let me see that, so I can. Then I know it. Then I understand it, and I have the wisdom to apply it. But if you just telling me not to do it because you said so, as soon as I'm outside of your sight, then
I'm gonna do.
I may not do it out of respect for you, but there's a chance.
There's a chance.
Yeah,
exactly.
And that brings us.
You want your child to be able to get themselves to the understanding of the wisdom.
The wisdom to be able to navigate in your absence. That's ultimately where you want to
navigate in your absence. Absolutely. And it just makes so much sense. 1 + 1 is 2, yo. It's not difficult. So all y'all that don't be jacking the scriptures because y'all think that it's man-made and there's a bunch of folly and fiction and contradictions in there. What's contradictory about that? What's contradictory about that?
To be good. You know what I mean? Like, that's crazy. Like, if you're... You gotta be pure evil to not understand this. Like, it just doesn't make sense. You know what I mean?
It's simple. So going from that scripture, we talking about train up your child in the way that they should go. In the way that they should go. So then the question should be, what way should they go?
And then
which way is the way?
And that's gonna bring us to Titus 2.
Now we're going to Titus 2 because off the strength of the story that the brothers brought up, that particular sister had an art with her mom, right? So we focusing right now. We talking about brothers as well, as we often do, but right here specifically we talking about sisters as being a mother.
So this is Titus 2 verse 3. The aged woman likewise, that they be in the behavior as becometh holiness.
So this is talking. The subject matter here is the older woman. So older women don't gotta be 58 years old. No. The older woman can be 20 years old, 25, 30. You know what I mean?
That's actually an aged woman in scripture, because what I was saying earlier is marriageable women in ancient times were getting married very young. very young. You see cases even as early as 14 years old, sisters getting married in biblical times. Now, I wouldn't advise anybody to do that today before y'all get simple. I wouldn't advise nobody to do that, but I'm saying that's what it was. So an aged woman in this time frame could be a woman that was 25 years old.
Yeah.
All right. So becometh holiness, not false accusers.
So now it's about to give you a list on what it means to be holy as that woman, to exude holiness. Which, if you brothers are watching this podcast, if you're not necessarily jacking the Bible, you should want a sister that cares about being holy. Why? Let's find out.
Okay. An aged woman likewise, that they be in behavior as becometh holiness, not false accusers.
Not false accusers. I feel like we gotta take it slow for them. Just here, because this is science right now. Not false accusers.
She's not gossiping. She's not talking about things that isn't. She's not supposed to be in that business.
She's not a busybody. She's not a damn busybody. That's what it's saying.
Like just she minds her business and takes care of her things. She doesn't want to be in the mix. Now, I mean, no mixiness. You understand?
Don't mix
mixiness. Not giving too much wine.
What?
Not giving too much wine.
Not giving too much wine.
Sisters wake up drinking Henny, man.
Right, especially during this Corona time when these kids got y'all running off the walls.
You know? Listen, ain't nothing wrong with drinking in moderation, but ain't no way you're supposed to be killing a whole bottle more than you do. Like that. That's just crazy.
Right, you got to be able to be to move in an aspect of temperance.
And the last. Teachers of good things.
Teachers of good
no, you missed
things.
No. I'm still because holiness, false accusers, not giving them much wine. Teachers of good things. I'm still going. I still got 4 and 5.
Okay.
Teachers of good things. So then again, the question has to be, well, what are these good things?
It's gonna tell you.
What are these good things?
Exactly. Which means
but let's highlight. It says teachers of
good things.
Yes. So teachers. So it's letting you know the aged women are supposed to be
teachers of good things. Yes.
And what's pertaining to the young sister, who's teaching her?
Exactly. Right. If she's learning that behavior from her mother, then that's like I say, and this goes back to what we were talking about earlier. And I know we've brought this up on a past pod. But a toxic mother is more dangerous than an absent father because they're learning everything from that mother. If the father's not there, they're not learning anything from the father, but they're learning everything from the mother. So if that mother's playing music with curses and talking about riding dicks and oh, fuck this dude for the bag and all this stuff, and your little girl is hearing this, then what kind of mother are you? Are you really a good mother? Just because you cook and clean doesn't mean you're a good mother. It's what you teach and instill in that child.
Come on.
You understand what I'm saying? And that's deep. That's why you have to be a teacher of good things. And if you're not, the Most High is looking at you like you're nothing.
Come on.
And you will be punished for it because your bloodline is going to be... your bloodline might not make it.
Oh, man.
Because it starts with you.
Ooh, I tell you that.
It starts with you. So if you're not doing your job as a parent... then for sure, just know that, you might not have grandchildren because you set your kids up for failure. And it's that real. The Most High is not an all lovey-dovey kind of God. He's a God of judgment, man. If you pave, what you reap, you will sow. So if you pave the way for that, then certain things are going to happen,
Yeah, well, sorry, what you sow, you will reap. But this ain't for play. This is real life stuff right here. I know we doing a podcast and we joke from now and here and there, but this is real revolutionary things right here, and it's all very simple. It's all very simple, but we got to get out the way of ourselves.
Exactly. To continue, this is verse 4. That they may teach the young woman to be sober.
To be sober.
That they may do what though?
That they may teach the young women to be sober.
So they, who is the they?
The aged women
are teaching the young
your women that are on Instagram twerking.
Right.
And guess what? These 16-year-olds are looking up to you.
But it even starts before the sisters that we see on Instagram twerking today. That's
It be the
fire.
mothers. It be the mothers on
It be their
Instagram.
grandmothers. Before that,
Yeah,
I'm gonna
that's
tell you.
true.
I'm gonna tell you where it started. Where a lot of people, it started with those Christian grandmothers that couldn't be told anything because Jesus was a man.
No, I've heard that. I've heard that.
You couldn't tell him nothing.
Jesus, my
You
man.
went
Yeah, I heard
Sunday.
that one.
You at church every Sunday and every Wednesday, done up to the nines.
But mind you, you said
But
a Caucasian man is your husband.
Oh
Right.
yeah, because that's the Jesus you.
That's the Jesus they know on
that's
Sunday.
The Jesus you talking about.
That's the Jesus they know on Sunday.
But aside from that, you know, just because of how culture has been, like even when we look at the black church, like by and large, you know, some of the worst women you can get come out of the black church. And I'm just gonna keep it a buck.
Oh man, that's
I'm
an
gonna keep it a
absolute
buck.
fact.
I'm just gonna keep it a buck.
Right,
But it comes out as a result of
You seen Greenleaf?
yeah, you seen yeah. And it's not to come at our sisters that are in those churches and don't know any better. But it's just to say, just the mentality that comes with it.
You say Greenleaf.
Yeah, Greenleaf, that's
That show's crazy.
Hey, that show was good.
That show.
That show crazy.
But it get deep, man. It just, you really get to see like it's no order in there. It's not really like when you look at the Christian church. How many Christian churches do you see today where you have elder women in there actually teaching younger women what it means to be a good wife and a good mother? Because that's what they should be learning. It shouldn't be, you learning how to apostatize and
Right.
put hands on it.
Right, breaking down scriptures. Yeah, prophecy.
She's an apostle. She's a prophetess and all.
Yeah.
No. You're not learning the principal thing.
And you can't even perfect how to be a wife.
Yeah, and
Or
what that
or
means,
mother.
and what
Or
that even
mother.
means.
Or a daughter.
Yeah.
Because you got to learn how to be a daughter and a sister, then a wife, then a mother.
And that
Feel
all.
me?
Yeah.
You got to learn, it's like a process to these, but you don't see Asian women teaching younger women anything.
And just so that, again, for those of y'all that might not know anything about what we're reading here in terms of the Bible, the verses that come right before where we started, because in this chapter we started at verse 3, it's talking about the brothers. So just that understanding the Most High always has the balance.
Exactly.
Right, and
Right
this-
now we dealing with sisters.
Yeah, we just happen to be
So
dealing with
y'all don't
sisters. Don't get your panties in a twist, right?
Right.
And then this is about, literally, these scriptures right here are talking about how to order the congregation, to order the church, if you will.
To keep peace.
And the church is not a building that you go to on Sundays. The church is us. We the church right here. This is church we having. This is literally church. Look up the etymology of the word church and you'll be fascinated. You know what I'm saying? So this is how you order things. How you order a body of people. This is what we're in the business of. Where else are you going to find this on any podcast? Nowhere, man. I dare you to say otherwise and try to find it, man. You can't. Talk to him, Mike. Go ahead.
Okay. That they may teach the young women to be sober, to love their husbands.
To what?
To love their husbands.
To love their husbands.
To love.
Not their baby fathers. Not the F boys out here. To love their husbands. You know how many times they get in my skin? You know how many times when you go to a sister's bio on Instagram or something like that, and they'll still say mother to a prince or Jaden's mother or something like that. When the last time you seen it said Tyler's wife? You know what I mean? Like rarely, you might see that in our community of people, Israelites and whatnot, but I want to see more of that. I want to go on sister's page and I know off the rip, she's married.
And I'm going to tell you something. If you are married,
Right.
if you
Throw the
are-
alley to my man. Throw the alley to him.
What's crazy though, if you
Talk to
are
him.
married, this is a declaration. If you are a married sister, you have no business following brothers you don't know on social media platforms. You just don't. It's like, I don't understand. You can't rationalize that to me. Because so often I'll go on my Facebook feed and I'll just go into the endless requests that I'm never going to approve. And I'll just see all the sisters. And I'll click on a page, oh, she's married. Click on another page, oh, she's married. Husband name in the bio and everything. Why are you following me? I could understand if I knew you, if I'm offering or selling something on my page that's drawing you here. If this Breadfellows network was somehow linked to my Facebook, I'd understand.
But just the personal, like my page, you're saying.
My page.
Yeah. Brothers, get out the DMs, yo. Sisters too. If you married, man, get out the DMs.
Like, you ain't got nothing to say to me, sis.
Get out of the DMs. What are you gonna say? If you're married, if you're courting, get out of the DMs. Because what do they say? It goes down in the DMs.
Right. And it ain't that much brotherhood and sisterhood out here. Like,
Unfortunately.
you can't veil it with, oh, shalom, you asking me all these questions to figure out how to divorce your husband.
Right.
Like, get out of here,
Nah, yo. Like how you said, what you give them? You just give them like a fist. I know a lot of times I just give a sister a strong black fist.
Strong fist, you know what I mean?
Not the light skin fist.
Keep it cordial.
Black fist.
Hey, man, messing with me, man. If I see sister arguing on the TL, and she got a husband, I'm gonna tag her.
Hey, spicy.
I'll put that, like, for real.
Just know
Nah, we need this. We need that one for you.
No, I really
Spicy
do that.
on
No, I really do that. I really do that. Like,
yeah.
I was having a debate back and forth with this sister, and then I messed around, clicked on her page, and seen that she was married. I'm like, sis, why are you going back and forth with me about something that you believe, about a post that I made because it's my beliefs in how I feel, and you got a whole husband. Why am I affecting you this much?
Yeah.
To the point where you trying to go back and forth tooth and nail with me about something that I believe.
Right. So love their husbands,
To love their children.
To love their children speaks to what the story that y'all just gave.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
To be discreet.
Listen to the science.
To be discreet.
This is like
You're not
these
in
three
everybody's
verses.
face. You're chilling.
Oh my gosh, these
And
three
you
verses
damn
were
sure
just
ain't in the South Bronx
Exactly.
at 11 o'clock at
You
night
understand what I'm saying?
on the side of the road.
You crazy.
Like, come on.
had nothing to do with discretion.
Chase.
Hold on, what?
Chase.
Chase. To be chaste, some people say chast.
Chast.
To be able to have that chastity, the chastity belt. To be able to have that. Keep your legs closed. The older women are supposed to be teaching the younger women this. I have a 19-year-old sister that I always reference all the time. It's difficult. I feel like she's my child at times. It's difficult to always have a certain level of upkeep to be in the life of this particular individual at that age because hormones are blazing and whatnot. To talk about chastity, oh my gosh. So I can just only imagine to actually have a daughter. Shout out to this brother right here, man.
To teach that. Yeah, you gotta teach that.
And that's why I'm so heavy on this, because nobody wants, their kids to fall into what they see out here. Because it ain't nothing good out here, man. So it's like, once you have children, you have a different mind state. Well, you're supposed to have a different mind state. Because there's a lot of people who I feel like don't really care about their children. Because caring about your children is making sure that they're growing up the right way.
Right.
That they're not exposed to certain things. That's real love for your children.
Yeah.
So I don't be feeling like people really love their children like they say they do. If you expose them to negative things all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, what's love?
Yeah, that's gotta stop, man. The playing the music like that around the
For
the
real.
kids, yo.
Like, why is this going on? I don't think people understand the damage that they're doing to the children. Like, serious. Like, this is something big. And what you hear, it's nothing. It's just a little cursing. That's crazy.
You know what people will say? They'll be like, "Oh, but they're gonna hear this anyways." They'll say that,
but not from you,
and
because you're the biggest example.
But not from you.
But not from
that's
you.
The
though.
point. That's the point.
That's
not
something childish to say too.
Yeah, that's lazy too.
For a grown person to say that, that's childish and immature of you.
Word.
And
OD.
ignorant. Because it's like, okay, yeah, they're gonna hear it from you, but you're their hero.
Exactly.
They look up to you.
First.
They're gonna want to be like you.
It's
So
like you're pulling from something, brother.
Man, because his brother got 2 daughters, man,
It's
for
real.
sure. So he's already in that mix, yo.
It's real, man.
Yeah, for sure,
You know.
And I know a lot of, I don't know as many brothers, but I know a lot of sisters that have children, and a lot of them might be co-parenting or single parents or whatnot, man. So these are facts right here, yo.
Keepers at home.
Oh my gosh.
Good.
Keepers at home. Stay home, my sister. Don't be out in the club every weekend and you expect to find a husband.
Yeah, because this whole quarantine shouldn't be doing nothing to a virtuous sister. Because you should be used to being at home sometimes.
Exactly.
No brother wants a sister who's always here, there, and everywhere.
Exactly.
When you look in the scriptures and Proverbs, and it talks about an adulterous woman, it talks about how she's waiting about in the streets.
Yeah.
She lying, waiting in the streets at every corner. Meaning she's here, she's at this party, she's at that bar, she's here, she on this brother's IG, she's talking to that. Like you doing too much.
You're everywhere.
Sit down.
You doing too much. Sit down.
Just chill out, bro.
Obedient to their own husbands.
Obedient to their husbands.
Salak. And we see y'all too. Like, sisters, let me give y'all some game.
Oh, here go my man. Show the game.
If you express interest in a brother, okay? You express interest in a brother. You like this brother or whatever. You want his attention. You've made that clear to him that you want his attention. And he doesn't move on you as quick as you anticipate. And literally, let's say a week later, he sees you doing the same things you did to get his attention for another dude. That brother is not going to take you serious. I guess what I'm trying to say, sis, is if you're interested in a brother may not even show you that he's interested in you if you have any wisdom. Because I've actually done this. I'm going to sit back and I'm going to see how you move when you think I'm not watching.
Exactly.
And if I see you on every brother's page, every brother I know's page, liked all up, down, commenting here, there, everywhere, you reposting it, I'm not going to deal with you. You're too busy for me.
Right.
I'm just tell you that now. That goes into this discretion. Discretion. Look up the word discretion. Look up the word discretion. People don't even really know what discretion means.
Brother wants to get into the bag.
And I'm not gonna lie, this is one thing that adds to a woman being virtuous. If you can't master these things, then there's no way that you can be a virtuous woman, because these are things that you have to master. You know what I mean?
Discreet, careful, and circumspect in one's speech or actions, especially in order to avoid causing offense or to gain an advantage.
Now, this speaks volumes because women say anything that comes out their mouth. They will say the most craziest things, low blows.
They incontinent, man.
Low blows. This is something that women can't master. Like, I want to see a discreet challenge. Nah, seriously.
Yo, man,
because I ain't gonna front. As a guy, I can say the most craziest, heartful things, but I calm down and I actually be like, you know what? Let me relax. Can women do that though?
Yo, he said a discreet challenge, man. Yeah, because y'all come up with these ridiculous challenges, the pillow challenge, man, and all that. Oh my gosh, the discreet challenge. Yes, it's the modesty challenge. But keep her at home challenge.
You know what I mean?
And that's not to say that y'all gotta be in the crib twiddling your thumbs. But this is in reference to sisters who are wives or who are getting the knowledge on how to become a wife. So you want to be able to not be a housekeeper, but like we always say, a keeper of the home. To make it a nice, warm place to come into where there's love there and that can be fostered. What else we got on that?
Keepers at home, good, obedient to their husbands, that the word of God be not blasphemed.
That the word of God be not blasphemed.
So women don't even understand that when they move in a crazy manner, that's not basically following this list. The Most High is looking at you like you're
just a blasphemer.
Yeah, you're a blasphemer.
You're a blasphemer, yeah, for sure. Which is a wicked liar.
Yeah, and then on top of that, most of the women that do go crazy at the mouth claim to be the same God-fearing women. Oh, God got me. He know my heart.
Yeah.
But you call all types of bitches and niggas and eat a you know what I mean? Eat a genital. Know what I mean? Chicks be like SMD more than dudes.
Right.
Yeah, man.
You don't have a penis.
And with that same mouth say I'm blessed and highly favored.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Makes no
and
sense.
That's James 3.
Makes no sense.
That's crazy.
And that's going to be your downfall. Now, I mean, that's why I say sometimes you need to step back and just chill, because certain women, they'll be like, oh, well, you going off. Okay, I'm going off to whose standards? Not scripture. You know what I mean?
Yeah, which is
but you, though,
you got to come back to that.
Yeah, but you, though, are going against certain things that are in the scripture. Know what I mean? So it's crazy. It's crazy.
Woo! Brothers getting things off their chest tonight,
man,
boy. We
real,
told y'all
man.
it's gonna be spicy. For those that are
It's spicy
still
out here,
still
man.
watching this podcast right now, man,
It's
that's because
spicy.
y'all love us and we love y'all. So
Yeah.
we got that just this one last script just to bring it on home. Just to bring it on home because again, this is not just about sisters only, it's about us as a people. It's about us as a people, yo. So again, predicated upon that story of the experience that we shared tonight with those sisters.
Oh, mind you, see, we didn't give them the full, you know what I mean? Because, yeah, we got them a Uber, but how also, you know what I mean, on the Sabbath, went and purchased 2 water bottles for the sisters because they were in thirst. So,
And I purchased the Uber.
yeah, he purchased the Uber.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But why is that important to say? Not because we're trying to be
Boast
boastful
ourselves.
and
Yeah,
say
yeah.
you should be like us and give and do alms.
No.
No. But some of y'all have no idea what alms are.
Exactly.
And some of y'all do alms, but y'all capture it on video. Which is something that is not gonna keep on to yourself the true glory. Because
Exactly.
you already received your glory and your honor.
We're not doing it.
You had your
We're not
reward
doing it
right
for the
then and
glory
there.
of men.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm saying this, and these brothers are sharing the experience because we want to be able to show y'all the difference, and this is going to be science I'm giving you right here. The difference between the letter of the law and the spirit of the law.
Can I add to that?
That's science right there, man. Go ahead, talk to me.
Because this is more so geared towards our brothers and sisters in the knowledge. You know, we know about keeping the Sabbath and keep the Sabbath. You got to remember what Christ said. It's always lawful for a man to do good on the Sabbath. You know, you can't allow keeping the Sabbath to restrict you from helping a brother or sister. Because Christ even went with the parable. He even asked the scribes and Pharisees the parable. He was like, well, it wasn't a parable, but a saying. He was like, listen, how many of you, if you had an ox and it fell in the ditch, aren't you going to pull it out on the Sabbath day? You meaning if you found yourself in a rough situation and you had to handle something, you're not going to let the Sabbath prevent you from doing it. And he let them know that it's always lawful to do good on the Sabbath day. So if you have to help your brother or sister, then that goes out the window. That's secondary.
Exactly.
Wow.
And when you in your heart you feel like you have to help, you know, a brother or sister on a Sabbath day, that means you're staying in the spirit right there, man.
Yeah,
because I ain't gonna
exactly.
lie, we couldn't just walk past and not do anything. Know what I mean? It was just.
It didn't feel right.
We just it doesn't feel right.
Doesn't feel right.
So that's gonna take us to Matthew 25 and 35. So it says, this is Christ speaking, red letter. It says, "For I was an hungered, and ye gave me meat. I was thirsty, and ye gave me drink. I was a stranger, and ye took me in. Naked, and ye clothed me. I was sick, and ye visited me. I was in prison, and ye came unto me."
Which is all things. This is a list of all things that we should continuously be in the spirit of. Go visit those people who are in need of medical care or who are laid up in a hospital. Go visit them. Show them, share with them a kind word, and just them seeing your face is enough for them to be joyous and cheerful going through a rough time. Those that are imprisoned, go check them. You know what I mean? Write them a letter. If you can, if you know the information. All these things we should be continually in the midst of, So that speaks to what the brothers got into earlier, where the sisters needed a drink. Brothers got them something to drink, needed to get home. They didn't know how to. Brothers purchased them a means of transportation. Again, not to be boastful, but just showing you how we need to be thinking even in your... We was going to get food. We wasn't even thinking about doing that, but that if you're going to be preaching something, you got to be practicing it. So that's people that don't even jack the Bible. Anybody that's watching this right now, you got to be a practitioner of what it is you preach.
Right, and then also, we got to get out of thinking that love is a noun. Love is an adjective. You think love is a noun.
Yeah.
It's an action word, man.
It's a verb.
Yeah.
It's actually a verb. You can't say you love somebody or you love your people and you're not
doing nothing for them.
Right.
You're not doing nothing.
Ain't doing
But running your mouth.
I was about to say that, just
running your mouth.
flapping your gums.
Like,
Yeah.
Okay, then shall the righteous answer him, saying, Lord, when saw we thee in hungered and fed thee, or thirsty and gave thee drink? When saw we thee a stranger and took thee in, or naked and clothed thee?
So this was Christ. He's saying, yo, when I was thirsty and whatnot, y'all held me down. They're asking, when haven't we done that? Or when have we done that? And he's about to give them the signs.
Or when saw we thee sick or in prison and came unto thee? And the king shall answer and say unto them, verily I say unto you, insomuch as ye have done it unto one of the least of these my brethren.
So he's saying, they're asking him, yo, when was it that we have done these things to you? You know, you wasn't with us during this time, during that time. How do you know that we did these things to you? So Christ is going into saying, if you did it to these people, of your people, then you did it to me. And we got to be in that vein of the very simple mathematics of love thy neighbor as thyself.
Right.
You know what I mean? There's more on that?
Ye have done it unto and ye have done it unto one of the least of these my brethren. Ye have done it unto me. Should I get more into it?
Nah. That's the science right there. Yeah, and it just breaks down to that simple mathematics, like we said. You know, just love your neighbor as yourself. But you got to get the science on what love really is. And keep tuning into the Bedfellows podcast, and we're going to hip y'all to what that love is, man.
Hey, and I wanted to add one more thing, man. Yo, listen. If you are a so-called black, Hispanic, or Native American,
Talk to them.
and you support anything that goes against your people, and that could be in your household. Facts. That could be in your household. That could be a brother outside. If you support the system, if you talking about destroying this brother's or this sister's life, then you are going down with these devils. Just putting that.
That's a fact, and that's why we call him
Free smoke, free smoke.
straight up,
Free
man.
smoke, free
Now,
smoke.
y'all gonna
Free smoke, free
listen.
smoke.
Y'all judgment is gonna be prepared swiftly, because I tell you this: yeah, people make mistakes, but when you intentionally try to make people's life hard and destroy them, you have judgment coming, man.
that's a
And
fact.
I'm gonna end it like that.
That's a fact.
You got any words of wisdom?
Good.
We're going to leave out with this.
You can't handle the truth.
Peace.